according to Paul's writings to the Philippians, that what Jesus has ushered in is an entirely new era. And let us remind that the Old Testament has been done away with. That is, it has been fulfilled by Jesus. God does not relate to human beings anymore like he did according to the Torah and the Old Testament. That relationship with man is dead and gone. The new relationship with man is according to the free gift through Jesus Christ and the forgiveness of every error, wrong, and sin you've ever committed. And it cannot be earned. It cannot be deserved. It can only be accepted and received. But our obstacle becomes we persist in attempting the trivial, which is to earn it and deserve it. Why? Because it makes us feel good. It just does. We have to admit that. It makes us feel good. In the same way, I'll say it like this. Negativity has, we have an appetite for it. A friend of mine recently said, Harvard did a recent study, and they've discovered that negativity has 7 times more power on your brain and body than positivity. Because of the fallen nature, we have an appetite for negativity. I don't know, Judah. Just look at the news. In Los Angeles, I have talked to news anchors and producers and writers, and they say our problem right now is earnest doesn't sell. Honesty, positive doesn't sell. We want to know the nitty, the gritty, and the negativity because we have proclivity. We have a bent towards that. We have an appetite towards that. It releases adrenaline in our body when we hear, have you heard? And when we hear, have you heard about so-and-so who did this, we feel better about this. And so it is, and that's why we're prone to religion. That's why we're prone to formalities. That's why we're prone to tradition. That's why we're prone to exclusivity. That's why we're prone to not liking people who don't live up to our particular standards. And by the way, we don't live up to all our standards, just our pet standards. Right? And that's how the church becomes institutionalized and ceases to become a living organism that welcomes anyone and everyone because we're all on the same playing field. Isn't it amazing how the gospel levels the playing field? Remember, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Remember Simon the Pharisee invites Jesus over for a meal, and they're so rudely interrupted by a prostitute, a woman of the night. And do you remember the juxtaposition of this story? Simon's laying on his side, and he thinks in his mind, if Jesus knew what kind of woman this was, he wouldn't let her wash his feet and wipe it with her hair and spill her perfume because she is a sinner. She is a sinner. She is a sinner. What are you, Simon? She's a sinner. What about you, Simon? She's a sinner. Simon laid on his side as one who he believed he had earned and deserved. And there was a woman in the same scene who was at the feet of Jesus who was broken and grateful. And Jesus says, whoever's forgiven little, Simon, loves little. Which is also to say, but this woman who knows she has been forgiven much, loves much. This perspective of wrestling with God also robs us of our desire and passion for Jesus. And it turns us into religious robots who attend service because it's the right thing to do. And that, my friend, will only last so long. Where do we recover raw passion and desire for Jesus? Where do we recover gratitude and perspective? Where is the passion? Where is the desire? Where is the gratefulness? It gets back to, we read passages like Genesis 32 and we're like, I'm gonna wrestle with God. You can no more wrestle with God than Jacob wrestled with God. That's actually not really a thing. Jesus has finished the work. Even if there was an era, and there was, where mankind attempted to relate to God by their own nobility and ability and performance, it has been passed away. It is done. And what remains is simply to accept and receive the finished work of Jesus.